Hello, welcome. This is DM Talks, a podcast that aims to promote well-being and assist healing, whether that be physically, mentally or spiritually. Ultimately, we just want to be seen in our entirety, and this podcast hopes to show listeners how multifaceted they are. We are all the centre of our own universe, so why don't we do more to better our own existence? Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of DM Talks. I'm your host Sarah, and I'm joined with one of my best friends. She's back from episode 1. It's Leah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's nice to have you back.
It's good to be back.
You're the first guest. You're back at it again.
Yeah, I will say from day one, this setup has transformed. It's got up
To be fair, we have definitely leveled up. We've got a ring light now. We've got 2 cameras. There's going to be a cool thing that we do with fades. Come on, Josh, can you show us those fades?
Let me have a...
Ooh,
Jeez.
Look at them fades. Wow. See, the visuals on this place, whoa, they're having a party.
Oh, dimension number 3.
Do you know what I mean? Shout out YouTube family. They're living lavish. But yeah, no, I'm back today with a new episode, and it's talking about, I guess, reflection. What I've learned, what we've learned, what we're strong at. I was about to say what we haven't learned. Well, of course, what we haven't learned, I wouldn't be able to mention that. But
infinite long list.
Long list there. I do not understand. It's all blank. So just a matter. I love how we just have so much mind jargon that both me and you just understand. It's probably be like, what the fuck? But
we need a translator.
Yeah, we'll get you a translator. Don't you worry. But yeah, Leah was my first guest, and I've learned a lot since that first episode, and so has she, and I thought it would just be kind of cool to talk about us, what we've learned since then, and just have a little catch up.
Yeah.
Really.
Time.
But yeah, what have you done today, Leah?
Today, so I was going to go meet our friend Lou, which we got quite late. So I was just drawing on the front step of my new house. Mm-hmm. There's this tree at the moment. It's I call it the fire tree because at the top it's really bright red, and the bottom is a really bright green, and then it looks like a flame.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, it's well pretty. So I was drawing that this morning.
Oh, that's nice.
Came through.
Oh, cool. Well, that's a lovely morning. Lovely morning.
Nice. What about you?
I had it was a weird morning. I had a nice morning. I try and read after I get up and write and stuff. So I did that, but I was feeling a bit more, I guess, I don't know, sometimes you wake up and you feel kind of energetic, but in a bad way. You feel I've got this energy, I want to take this out of me. Restless. Yeah. So I was like, okay, shit, let's go on a run. Decided to go on a run, but then I dropped my phone in out of my bag, and my phone smashed. So that's it, which was pretty frustrating. So I kind of didn't really continue my run because I wanted to, but I was just a bit
no, I definitely would have rage quit as well.
I was a bit annoyed. So
no amount of endorphins could save me after that.
Do you know what I mean? Exactly. And it was am I gonna run with glass coming into my hands? Do you know what I mean? I don't need that kind of energy. So I've noticed though that I have an upgrade soon in a week or so. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. So I came home, I had a really nice breakfast. I had corn, the southern fried chicken nuggets and avo on toast, but I did it with garlic and cherry tomatoes. And
strong.
Yeah, and a I had a mango and pineapple smoothie as well.
Cow.
Do you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what?
Set yourself up right. Monday morning.
Do you know what I mean? This is why I need Mondays off. Even if it starts bad, it can end well. Even though it might start bad, it is always better. Right? Because I came home, I had banging food, could make a really nice breakfast, changed my mind, then my friend came round, and now I'm doing a podcast that I like to do. So
the rest of society goes back to work. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. You've got me out here trying to think positively from a broken phone.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We move. And let's just move straight on to the next segment.
Sick.
So the next segment is the divine, and that's where we nominate a good thing, something that has shined light on our lives. What would you like to nominate for the divine?
I think I've been really appreciating recently the season changes and seeing because I've been going out a bit more into the last bit of sun. It's just seeing seeing other people take advantage of it as well, like seeing people take advantage of like the last bits of sun, playing football in the park, and like, I've been spending so much time outside recently.
Did you cycle through Platts today?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God.
Of course I did. Come to your house, I need to.
But literally, I went to Platts yesterday, and literally, which is a park for people that don't know, and it was quite cold, but still a bit sunny. I swear to God, it was one of the busiest days in Platts that I'd ever seen.
Oh, yesterday?
Yeah, it was so busy. Everyone was there, and like, I kind of loved how you mentioned that. Like, I guess, when did you start noticing that?
For me, it was more like...
Or appreciating it, maybe.
I think it was like a couple of weeks ago, just as I was finishing my dissertation.
Yeah.
So me and Harrison went into town in Leeds. It was really sunny and it was packed, and it was like, it was just really nice. And I know like that can give an anxiety for a lot of people at this time, but for me it was just so nice seeing life and like still seeing things change, but like people adapting to it. And like now I've finished, been going out to cafes and things a lot more. So yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like we need to take advantage of the last bit that we have and not feel guilty for it as well, especially if we're going into another lockdown. That would be really nerve-wracking. But I mean, like, also, we don't know what's going on with this government, so just do...
Go to the park while you can.
Go to the park while you can.
Just follow your advice when you've been told it. That's all you can really ask to do.
Exactly. Like, I think that's such a warming nomination, so thank you. I'm going to nominate this book. Get in the habit of nominating books, but books are just great, you know, there's so many. So let me put my laptop screen down. Where shall I point? Wow, look at us, we're really out here. Sorry, we're really taking advantage of all these screens. You've got cameras, G. So this book is called Tarot Correspondence, Ancient Secrets for Everyday Readers. It's by an author called T. Susan Chang, and this book is actually my friend. You know the astrology episode that I did with Tom Sullivan. I don't know why I just pronounced your name. Grandmaster Wizard Tom Sullivan. Shout out you. He let me borrow this book a while ago, but I haven't been able to see him because of obviously the pandemic. And I've just really been getting into it recently. It's basically correspondence of planets, signs, elements, every single thing that is in relation to tarot, because I think if you study the foundations and if you study the patterns and the correspondence, you're able to get a wider interpretation, you know? And this book has really sort of developed my language into how I explore this subject. Like, I can even tell how my readings are getting better because I'm able to like spot the similarities and differences quicker.
Definitely. Well, you're an academic by nature, babe. You need to be doing that research to get those grounded hypotheses in.
Join me! Like, she gets me!
Always.
There's this really interesting thing called the Tree of Life, and essentially this is based, refers to the Jewish Kabbalah and the Christian Kabbalah and the Hermetic Kabbalah, and essentially it's a Tree of Life is a diagram used in various mystical traditions. It basically consists of 10 nodes that symbolize archetypes and 22 lines connecting those archetypes. And I know that's a bit of wordplay, but let me break it down for you. Basically, you've got the Tree of Life, which is also known as Kabbalah. It's been present since the 9th century BC, right? And then I think it's the first historical instance of this diagram is actually in 1516. So it's something that has been here, well, since the dawn of time, really. And as I've learned more about the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, I'm able to sort of learn more about tarot, because essentially you have 22 pathways that connect archetypes, and there's 22 pathways that are also the major arcana. And this means that there's these themes of life that are evident in this tree that help to successful manifestation or completion of goals or energy. And since I've been reading it, it's made me really sort of appreciate how precious and how valuable energy is, in like a personal sense, a spiritual sense, even a physical sense. Like, energy, like we all start off with energy in it, like, and the energy can be used for good, that energy can be used for bad, but also that energy can strengthen our intuition. And I find it really interesting how if you like return to the source, you're able to, I guess, have your energy sort of refilled, but also come back with a new awareness every time.
What I like about seeing the kind of diagrams is that, like, so Jewish mathematicians around this time, they used they're really advanced, but what I like about this diagram is that this is like it's similar to a digraph, which is like it's basically a map of like, and you have, like you're saying, the nodes and then the pathways between the nodes, and it's basically to help people kind of find the fastest route or the most efficient route, and kind of like, yeah, it's always about a forward thinking process. I've really just been thinking about it while I've been talking about it, but it's just really cool. Like,
it's so interesting because like if you like, so that is like, this is something completely independent of its own. This is like you said, what some Jewish mathematicians used, and then you've got tarot, like you've got other individuals who practice divination that talk to these mathematicians, and then they realise that because it always started with energy, it's combining the two together.
Yeah, it's like a journey. Yeah,
exactly, and I think that's even cool as you as a mathematician, as me as a psychologist, sort of like how can we have two different perspectives on something that is presented to us, as in the tree of life, which is
it's something we can both understand really easily.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Nice. Yeah. I love both of us just geeking out, like, but for different ways. Like, oh no, I love it because you're such a mathematician, and I love it. You know what? This is actually a great place to take it to our next segment, which is Decoding the Messes. And it's weird because I'm not gonna start with mess. I'm gonna start with resilience.
Yeah.
Right? Because me and my friend Leah, we know something about resilience. We know something about resilience. Whether some may be stuck in another country, whether some may be in the fine walls of an institution, maybe, I don't know, it's someone who just broke their phone. We know a bit about resilience.
Stuck in all barriers.
And since the first episode, we have sort of grown as researchers, academics, intellectuals. Big time. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about that because I think it's quite jokes. I think you should describe. Would you describe yourself resilient? Because I fucking would.
I think that, like, yeah, no, definitely. I wouldn't say I was resilient in all aspects of my life until lockdown happened. Ooh. And I realised that, like, actually anything you wanted to do that gave you happiness, I think we all experienced lockdown, we all had to fight for it. Like, if we wanted to, like, do exercise, go out the house, we had to really, like, push ourselves to do it because you can just get into that state so easily.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, but, like, for me, over lockdown, I did a research project. I was, so I used the results for my master's thesis, but I kind of joined this research team at Uni of Manchester, and I don't want to get too scientific, but I basically wanted to make an automated process for scientists to kind of describe the outside of a virus. And if you find out what the outside looks like, so the spikes, how far they are, what they look like, that's where vaccine development comes from.
Yeah, it does.
It's like the interaction, it's where all the interaction happens. And so, that was, really, really sick in so many ways, because for the first time in my life, I'd researched what people actually were interested in and could talk about. Second is that in so many aspects of this research, I was so alone. Like, I couldn't use any of my code for weeks. Online remote access thing was tearing apart. I had to move house twice. I had to do a lot.
You had to do a lot. It's okay if we just rewind it, because I want listeners to build a picture in their mind. So, right, it's February. No, let's talk about, you brought this up earlier when we were in the first episode. So we had the first episode, we were talking, and you were talking about what you were going to do after education, because listeners want to catch up, you know.
Yeah, true. Oh, sorry.
Don't. No, go ahead. It's just like, I want to build a story because, I mean, you're a student during a pandemic. That wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Like, explain.
Yes.
Explain March to me.
To be honest, I have just had a streak of really good opportunities throughout lockdown, to be honest. So like initially my thesis, I wanted to do something on environmental development. All the people who could have ran that were on sabbatical that year.
Okay.
And then I emailed this guy I know, Bill Lionheart, who was my supervisor. Big love for Bill Lionheart. Anyways, I was asking if he had any work in that I could work on. He said, yeah, I've got this thing on the coronavirus. And I was chatting to him.
Yes, she does. Did you hear that, Corona?
Coming for you.
Coming for you.
But yeah, so a guy that I originally wanted to supervise my PhD turns out to be really good mates with Bill. And Bill is in my master's supervisor.
Okay, cool.
So Bill, who's in maths, is like, oh,
let me talk to
David's
this
my
guy.
favourite meteorologist. Like, of course it's going to work out. And so I had a few emails of like both of them, and then I really recently got an opportunity to develop offshore renewable energy in Uni of Manchester, and it's all dependent on this dissertation grade, but it will be fine. But
you got this.
Yeah. It's kind of all fallen through so beautifully. I was kind of thinking I was going to not stay in education at all and then suddenly get offered like a 3-year fully funded place. So you can't really turn that stuff down. And something that I've always wanted to do. So it's just like...
It's amazing. Like, I just found it it was just crazy because the thing is like... Me, if you know Leah, we always say, oh yeah, but Leah will just Leah it. You know what I mean? We'll just be like, and Leah, I guess, is a term to be like, oh, when things are going, you're doing things, but then you Leah it when it's like, when you just go all in, it's sick and you smash life. And like, well, she'll be worried. And I'm like, oh, don't worry, Leah will Leah it. It will be calm, it will calm, it will calm.
Oh, honestly,
and I found it jokes because like, obviously, uni's closing, everything's shutting down. She was studying Corona, right? And then Corona decided it wanted to teach. So everything was lock off. Everything was lock off. And now she's back studying Corona, doing the mathematical equations to infinite possibilities of multiple mutations of a virus, because that's what a virus is.
This virus is crazy, mate. It's honestly...
It's crazy. And you're not even fucking 23 yet.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're sick. Like,
mate, when I was worried, you were like, you'll Leah it. I was like, oh yeah.
You're like, what, Leah?
Sure will.
You're like, shit.
And it actually still worked out, honestly. I like finished days early. I'm so proud of myself.
It's just jokes, because this is what happened with your dissertation as well. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to bring all these things up. But like Leah found out in February, so she found out in February of third year that she had to do a dissertation, bearing in mind you have a year or 6 months to do it. She found out in February, she finished uni in June. Right, in February. This bitch gave her essay in 3 weeks early. Do you see how she just out-Leahs things? It's crazy. Oh, but no, like, honestly, props to you. You showed me that you're determined. Well, you just showed me what determination is, isn't it?
Honestly, I haven't surprised myself in my life anywhere near as much as I have through lockdown. It's been big. I realise, like, you know, I mean, I was really worried about all the isolation and things like that, but
yeah,
if you're determined enough, you can kind of do anything.
Yeah, self-belief, it's crazy how, like...
teach yourself anything.
Yeah, like, it's weird because you're so right. Like, I think watching you... literally having no one to talk to when you were like doing something and then seeing you 2 weeks later like, oh yeah, it's all done now. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, because of all that self-belief and all of that self-determination, there was literally no room for like, there's no room for doubt there, isn't it? But like, it could pop up, but when that goes and when it's left the building, then all you can go is forward, all you can go is up, like, and you showed me that because it was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'd have to teach someone. Oh, do you know what I mean? So like,
to be honest, it's so true though. I think like I've noticed whenever I doubt, I'm just wasting time. Like, there's no point trying to doubt because like you're just procrastinating. You're like trying to play the victim role and doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Really, you could just smash it. it, and in all the time you spent doubting yourself, you could have just made a bit of progress.
Yeah, but I guess maybe this is the mess what I'd like to like sort of decode then. What would you say is having the balance? Because of course, don't get me wrong, in that aspect, completely. No, not even in any aspect completely, because the thing is, if I didn't have self-doubt...
I love a self-day, you know about me.
Oh, wow, okay, let me restart again. If I didn't have self-doubt, I would just, all that time that I'd wasted thinking or whatever is procrastination. I could have just been used on my going to my goal. But then what is it, what does the balance look like to you? Because it's like, yeah, one can like where does discernment in self-doubt lie? Because it's not you can't just be like, don't have self-doubt and you'll be fine.
I think like,
so what's the difference?
To be honest, to be honest, noticing that thought is something that like, so my like thirst therapist would say like, you know, if you have a thought and you feel like you've had this thought a couple of times, you got to evaluate and think like, is this thought useful? Is this thought going to help me progress? If not, then do something else, because this thought is going to keep coming back. And like while she kind of taught me to like notice these things, it was really your influence, Sarah, that helped me deal with it. Like that 5-minute meditation in between, like when I was having a meltdown.
Oh yeah.
I'd have 5 minutes meditation and I'd have a coffee or a tea, and then I'll be over it by then.
No, yeah, because it's like you change your senses again. Yeah. No, that's true.
It's grounding yourself, like you're saying. And like a lot of the time, so if I was having a really bad morning, I was really stressed, then I would just like, first thing, get up and just like run, be outside, or like spend some time outside, at least like an hour or something outside, because like while I needed to be productive, and I would, because I'd spent the morning out, I'd like working really hard the rest of the day because I'd earned the morning then. Yeah. But like doing that kind of just makes you like, for me, it reminded me that I still valued myself a bit more than an early start.
It's weird because like, I completely get what you mean. It just shows you how everyone's different with their metrics, because like mornings for me, like it's like, I love how you say I valued my mornings then, so I'd work really hard later. But for me, it's like I have rest later. Do you know what I mean? Like I do my busy stuff in the morning, and then later. Yeah, I'm not a person till like 12 really. Fair. Like when I've done a morning running, I'll do like the low level tasks. Yeah, no, see, that's the thing. Like I know what you mean. I'll do like a low level task, and then a big task, and then a low level task, and then a medium. Like I like stagger it. But let's say if I wake up like pretty early now, so like I'll wake up and I'll try and exercise and eat before, let's say, like 9 or like 10 or something. And then I'll start my tasks between 10 to 12. But like I'll do a little bit some this stuff to ease myself into it. Like let's say if I had to do one reading, let me just read this article in bed, and then I'll do something else. Do you know what I mean? Like I think it's just like, I think you've got quite a good gift of like enjoying a lot of the work that you have to do, like you do reading, and you're like, I'm interested in this anyways. That's true. So you're right. I'll just read it. You're right. But like, no, there would be times for me, like I'd read about some interesting like breakthrough and I'd be like, wow, this is sick, and then realise, it's just really relevant to what I'm doing. I'm only laughing. It only happened once. I really valued it. I only laughed because it looked like you searched your brain then. I was like, that happened to me once. It was a good day. No fair. Leah, I want to know more about the work that you're doing. The coronavirus. Okay. No. It's been interesting. So like, what have I been? So when you develop a vaccine, like I was saying earlier, the points of contact are, so you can imagine a normal virus, and then it's got the spikes coming off of it. We've all seen a picture of it. And so when the spikes touch its target cell, that's basically where all the activity happens. Okay. So if you want to try and make a vaccine, you've got to try and really find out as much as you can about the surface of the virus. And so like,
the problem with the coronavirus that's like makes it quite different to a lot of viruses is that it's like they're like snowflakes.
Yeah.
So like every single one is different, and it means that you can't make a one vaccine fits all.
Yeah.
For like
so
everything.
It always mutates, doesn't it?
They all look different, and they always mutate. They mutate from country to country, from like even from area to area.
Say even weather, like the humidity could influence like the virus.
Definitely. Even if like it's passed through like a farm before it's passed to someone else, or it's passed through like, you know, someone who has pets or not, it can really make a difference, because it's about what kind of person or animal or whatever holds the virus before it's passed on to you.
Yeah.
So so that's why it's really difficult to map, and it attaches onto a lot of different molecules in your body, so it's quite hard to detect anyways by your antibodies. So with all that, it mutates a lot. Your antibodies can't really keep up, and they all look really dissimilar as well. So how can you begin to start finding the structure? And you start to do that by like, there's this thing called electron microscopy. So the field is called tomography, and it's basically the method of imaging viruses. And so with other viruses, because they're similar, you can kind of splice images together, piece them apart, and then kind of make a 3D structure that can be used then to develop the vaccine. But you can't do that with the coronavirus. And there's no way to kind of process large amounts of data really quickly to kind of get like a sample of what different coronaviruses could look like. So a person has to manually look at each picture, count the spikes, identify each spike, and because they're all different, that would take forever. And so it would not be efficient at all. And so no one's kind of done this kind of automated process before on the coronavirus. It's been done by one person on HIV in America, but the HIV virus again is a bit different from the coronavirus, because the coronavirus is called the coronavirus because of the coronas, which are the kind of meteor-like bumps which appear on the surface, which make them not symmetrical. So it means that you have to basically play around with a load of different imaging techniques and kind of isolate what the virus spikes would look like. And then by doing that and processing those images, you can find out the proportion of each spike, how big they are, how thick they are, all these kind of things. And then that's how you make a good vaccine, and that's what I've been doing.
That's fucking sick, and that is definitely going to be a highlight. Can I just say, that was fucking amazing, and that's how you make a vaccine. That was fucking sexy as hell. Wow. God, scientists. Girls who code.
Oh, it's been really cool though, because no one's done it before. And so everything I've been doing is completely my own, and it's like I've had to kind of be quite what's the word? Inventive?
Yeah, innovative.
Innovative, that's it. I had to be really innovative with like all my processing.
Yeah, like even with the coding, does that mean the coding has to count how many spikes is presented?
Yeah, so what my code basically does is like it finds the main body.
Yeah.
And then finds out as much about the main body as it can. So basically like how big it is, like what the shape is like, and then cuts out the main body, so you're just left with the spikes. And then because you know where the spikes meet the body, you can kind of count all the tips from then, and then like kind of draw lines out.
Yeah, so you're doing it a fast way.
Yeah. So hopefully this kind of idea could be implemented.
Damn straight. I hope this bloody episode reaches the right person. Do you know what I mean? Give her the funding. Out here saving lives and that. Do you know what I mean?
It's true, I've grafted on this as well. I deserve it.
No, definitely, please. Like, oh my goodness. If you have an uncle, if you have an auntie, if you have a friend in the right places, send this clip. Send this clip. It's amazing. Wow.
Oh, thank you. It feels really good to talk about it, to be honest, because I've been so in my head about it for so long. I haven't seen you in like a month towards the end of it, because I was working so hard. And like, now I can talk about it in the past tense. So it's great.
I mean, that's a sense of a relief, isn't it? It's like,
big time. And also knowing that like, you know, I've actually like used my intelligence for something that would help people. Like, it's just really good to know.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Fucking more women. Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
It is good.
No, honestly, like, it's like using your power for good, but also like it's so fucking needed right now. Like, but it's so expertise as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, like you have to be so like you said, innovative with your coding and so specific, because like if you get one thing wrong, it fucks the whole process.
Yeah. So I had to. So like a month before I finished this project, I found a new paper that was basically about. It was new information about the spikes, and like so originally we thought that the spikes were just like coming straight out, but it turns out they bend in 3 different positions.
Oh fucking hell!
Like
Mr.
it just
Rona.
threw out the whole of my code architecture out the window.
Oh,
I had
no.
to start again. And like, but that was amazing because it was like a comeback. You know? It was like you had a feel where you reached the low point.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. Like, well, not to obviously processing level, but like there would be times where like I was walking around the library being like, what makes sense? Like, I always describe it as like if you're a psychology student, it's like your lecturer taking you on a maze, but the maze is Bandersnatch. You know that Black Mirror mill, and you're just going around in circles. You're like, what pathway can
chopping the dad 4 times over.
Like, you don't know what pathway leads to what pathway, because what's effective in this pathway to mean it's significant for this. Do you know what I mean? And
that film sent me sideways.
Do you know what I mean?
Really
but just, and then I need to critically evaluate the evidence for the film. Nah. Welcome to Psychology 101. Like, no, it's honestly, it's so interesting, and I love how like we started off resilience, but now we've literally discussed the corona mess, but like provided fucking solutions for it. God, do you know what I mean?
Honestly, it's big. I mean, it's cool to be part of it. I think it's like, it's a bit, I don't want to put too much of a downer on things. I just think that like people need to be patient with the vaccine. It will take so long for something that's like clinically safe and really effective to come through. But like people are working day and night.
Yeah, I think
we just got to hold on.
Even being your friend has made, like, it's quite funny. I was saying this to my friends. I was like, hey, when you have someone on the inside, you walk with a different kind of confidence. You walk with a different kind of edge. Because like, it's like, oh yeah, scarcity, oh, fear mongering, and then you've got my mate Leah on the side on a laptop being like, oh yeah, so this is happening. Oh yeah, have you seen this? Like, do you know what I mean? It was that constant, and it wasn't like, oh, you're telling me news from, I don't know, like whatever. You're literally telling me a year's worth of news. Like you were studying disease modelling before Corona, innit?
Yeah,
and like even that sort of insight, I guess, made me less scared of what I was being seen.
Oh,
but not many people have that. Like you, or like maybe you don't have the resource. Do you know what I mean? Like
honestly,
you're just getting what on BBC, or like there's a fucking podcast about Corona now. Like it's a bit of a joke. Like they've really just exercised this virus to sort of heighten their control, and that's really frightening. But also, you can understand how it's being done because people are dying. You know, like.
And the thing is, people use the statistics knowing that people in the audience will have no idea why they're used and how they're used. Like, what annoyed me the most was like how the government used the R0 terms, like keep it R0 under 1 and all this stuff. And it's just like you can't measure disease growth until years afterwards. Like that, you can't use it as a daily kind of update on how things are going, because like we have nowhere near enough data to give you any kind of substantial
and it's so subjective
backing.
as well, because it's fluctuating literally daily. Do you know what I mean?
And they just it just really annoyed me how they kind of used it as a way to kind of scaremonger people and think like, oh well, they're giving us this fact. Yeah. It must be grounded in a lot of truth, but really they're just kind of distorting a very small mathematical concept to kind of just like you were saying, just kind of trick people into being terrified. So like if anyone has any questions about disease modelling, get in the comments.
Yes, get in the comments. You know what to do. Amazing. Oh my God, no, you've honestly given me so much light over this episode. Well, yeah, we're still on Decoding the Messes, and we've talked about your intellectual journey over the past year or so. But I guess you have a lot of free time now. Yeah. Right? How are you using your free time?
So Oh, you know what? Over the past few months, because I've been doing so much on this research, I have had so much of a thirst to do creative things. And like, so recently, actually the day that I finished my dissertation, I just bought a load of like sculpting equipment. So I bought some like plasters, chicken wire, other kinds of wire and things like that. I'm going to start doing, some sculpturing and things. And like, I've spent every day outside because I spent every day inside for like the whole summer. And even when it's cold, I'll go outside every day. And you know me, I can't handle the cold. And I've been like powering through it. I've just been kind of doing a lot more work with my hands and a lot less with my brain. Yeah. I've really appreciated it.
That's a nice way to put it. I like that because it's sort of like creative and tangible, you know. It's like you're creating things that explore, I guess, just a different use, and you must the way that I see it, especially in like relation to tarot, you're using your mind, you're using your brain, so that's related to swords and wand. No, not swords and wands, swords and mental realm. But when you use your hands and you plant seeds, that's like pentacles, and that's external to you. So it sort of talks about like, I could have all this mental intellect and that's great, but if I'm not putting it to use in a different way, I'm gonna get burnt out. You know, like there's this card called the 10 of Swords, and it's literally like, in one of my decks, it's like a girl with looking at her phone with 10 swords plunged into her back, and everyone thinks it's quite a gruesome picture because they're seeing like the swords in her back, and it's like, it could be gruesome, it could be betrayal, it could be darkness, but also it's like the darkest time is before dawn, and it's that lightness that comes over it. It's like, I'm so mentally taken away that only I can be brought up, and that's another sort of it's like a reintroduction into the real world again, or into the physical or material world. Definitely. Which I think is quite interesting.
I definitely agree that like every time you feel like you're faced with a lot of hardships, or like you feel really drained, it's like the perfect time to take up something new, or like change up your life. Like when I was finishing this work, I felt so burnt out, and the thought, like you were saying, of like putting it into the physical realm and like exploring like taking the daggers out, you know.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like
bit by bit.
Oh my god, so you're literally taking the daggers out and putting it into the ground. You're using your mental intellect and you're planting something into the earth, and over time, because it's earth, because it's something that's buried, it will bloom into something good. You know. And that's really cool. I like that. It's cute.
Something physical can always be appreciated by others.
What new things have you done?
What new things? So, been doing, I don't know if you know macrame. It's like a rope. You like tie rope in like decorative ways, and you use them to like hang things up. And
is that the hanging baskets?
I've just been using like the fishing line stuff that you can get. It's like it's like washing, like one of those things. It's like a really thick rope that I can get in my local for like £3.
Jokes.
For like a fat spool of it, and it's so therapeutic, Sarah. And the thing is, it's great for me because it's like instant gratification. Like you tie it, and then within an hour you've got this beautiful, lovely wall piece. So that's what I've been doing.
I love how you said instant gratification as well, because it's quite funny. Like we can waste our time looking on Instagram for all these likes, but I can get my instant gratification from creating something new.
And you probably spend the same amount of time.
Do you know what I mean? And I've created something new, and I haven't just, subconsciously or consciously absorbed the energy or comparisons of external that's presented on social media.
Yeah, definitely. Mad. And also if you're creating stuff, like when you go back onto social media,
it's something to contribute.
That's what I chat about.
Do you know what I mean? Now I have something to share.
I've just learned to do.
Do you know what I mean? I'm part of this group. Oh no, that's jokes. That's amazing. Lovely. I think this might be a good time to take it to the tarot talks, you know?
Yeah, let's do it.
The teas are ready. The sage is burning. Do you know what that means? It means tarot talks.
Tarot time!
Woo! So we're back, and we've got a tarot reading for you guys. I'm really excited. You've got a beautiful question.
I do.
Tell us your question.
So it's pretty linked to the theme of resilience we're talking about. I kind of want to ask, so how can I bring passion into everything I do?
How can I bring passion into everything I do? So today, spirit, guidance, higher power, we will want some guidance on that question. We want some affirmations on that question. Today I'm going to do the spread a little bit differently. I'm going to ask for a situation.
Situation, action, outcome.
That's it. Sorry, I just
got you. No,
I was like,
I've been learning now. Now I can help.
What is the second word? What is the second word? Spirit, universe, higher power, please can you give us guidance to bring passion into everything that we do? I would like to ask for a situation, action and outcome card to give us more insight into what we can do on an everyday basis, I think. Okay, yeah, amazing. So I'm going to shuffle these cards. Ooh. They're flying out. Okay, I'm going to stop after this one. Right. Now, I want to ask you to divide that deck. Actually, you know what? You shuffle them first. Give them a little... Give a bit of your energy on them.
Okay.
Don't look at them.
My shuffling is nowhere near as good as
yours. It's fine. You just... If you want, you can do it slowly.
I will.
Yeah. Just because, like... I don't think my shuffling's that great, but then also, like... I only use my cards, so like I'm just like do you know what I mean? Like it's like a knack, but like some cards are like a lot bigger and some cards are different material. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so everything's different.
These are almost like playing card sizes, so I should be good at this.
Don't you worry. It's just, when do you practice shuffling?
That's true.
If you could place those down for me, and I'm going to ask you to put them into 3 sections.
Okay.
Amazing. Please, can you take the first card off that section? Okay. So, for... Oh, can I carry on?
Yeah.
Hey. So, for our first card, we got 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups shows 2 individuals coming together. They are... coming in a communion, it's connection, it's attachment. Whether that's romantic or platonic, it shows that when you meet with joy, when you bring joy to someone else, it's shared, it's doubled.
Okay.
And when you see the 2 of Cups, it encourages you to... I don't know why, but the word reunion is coming back to me. It could be a reunion, but it basically encourages you to share with others. It encourages you to bring a balance into your life that encourages the flow of your beliefs and feelings. I say that because Cups is to do with water, right? And if the goal of water is to flow freely, right? 2 of Cups would be like a healthy exchange of that flow of energy and of those flow of feelings. You see 2 individuals in different sort of outfits as well, and that could even mean that they come from different backgrounds or different cultures or just different environments or even different beliefs. Different ideas, different belief systems actually. But you've got this red lion, like sort of that crowns above the image. I kind of want to know what that lion's doing. I'm interested.
They look like snakes, don't they?
Snakes?
Do you think?
I think those
intertwined around each other.
Oh, they are snakes. You're right. Yeah, you are. Sorry, I was talking about this guy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, that makes sense with the red face you're talking about.
But it's quite interesting because it's like snakes are known for shredding, aren't they? Like shredding their skin, shredding their character, but also reincarnation.
Yeah.
Lions, courage, you know? So maybe when you said... how can I bring passion to my everyday life is encouraging you to share that passion because it gives you a different interpretation of that passion. It's subjective and it can show you a new way of thinking and therefore loving something.
Definitely.
You know?
I feel like as well, like what are you saying with the shedding? Like, if to be open-minded, you're always getting rid of old ideas and
yes.
like working towards that bit of like
communion.
Yeah,
no, that's really cool. We'll go for the next card. So that was our situation. Could you talk about the first one?
Yeah, sure.
Ooh, okay. So action is 9 of Wands, right? 9 of Wands. Actually, I'll move these cards a tiny bit down. 9 of Wands is to do with fire, and 9 as a number is talking about something that's near the end of its cycle. So you're nearly completing. No, you've nearly completed a cycle. However, there's a few things that you need to like sort of tie the loose ends on before you finish and therefore successfully manifest, right? But because it's wands and energy and ideas and inspiration that's so associated with fire, like if you can look at it, all these wands here, it's like you could have a different idea for every wand, or you could have a different motivation or different energy for every wand, and they're all behind the individual. So that might mean that they're holding onto their own one tightly from their chest, and that could be completely valid. Like, you see this individual's been hurt in some way or form, because they've got grazed hands, they've got a bandage over their head, like they are protective, they are defensive, they're independent, and they're also sort of on edge, really, because they're ahead of the they're behind the, do you know what I mean? It's not like they're behind the wands and they're encompassing all their other motivations and drives as they sort of express their spirituality or protect their spirituality, but they're holding one to their dear chest and in front of it.
Of the others, yeah,
in front of them. So they might be blind to what's behind them. Do you know what I mean? So it could even be like, I'm forgetting about all these energies or motivations behind me. Or like, whether that's something internal, whether it's my own ideas, my own motivations, or whether it's others. So partnerships, sort of, when you think of wands and fire, it wants to expand, it wants to burn, it wants to ignite passion, you know, and it wants to be maintained, it wants to be consistent. So if you look at the 9 of Wands, it's very like me energy. It's very like, I've been burnt and I have to protect everything that I have, etc. But also it's come with a resilience, you know, it's come with a discipline, but I don't think it has come with a discernment, because if you had discernment, you could sort of like be a bit more productive with your use of drive, productive with your use of energy. Could you take the last card over for me? Oh, I understand this reading now. This is really cute. Right, so we have situation, action, outcome, right?
Is that the goddess card?
It is one of them. It's one of them. It's 9 of Pentacles.
Oh, okay.
So 9 of Pentacles, again, Pentacles do with your earth. It's like, what have I planted and what has given me, what has bloomed, right? So if you look at it as a story, right, you see these individuals that are sharing, you see the first individuals like sharing something, then you see an individual on their own being independent but also alone within something. But this expression of the alone or being isolated is so much more valued. Like, they're one with nature, they're comfortable, they are understanding of the fact that if I plant my things in January, they may come to harvest in September. You know, it's like, don't know if that is actually right, but you get what I mean. But like,
seeing the long-term fruition.
Exactly, and that's everything that is physical to us, and not just in wealth and health of career. Anything physical to us, whether that be plants, whether that is projects, whether that is well, yeah, just material things with matter. They will take time to mature and they will take time to develop. However, in this busy world, that we have where everything's fast, we kind of forget it. So with the 9 of Pentacles, it kind of shows you how to be grounded, but she's comfortable with her grounded. She is blooming. She's got the like, I want to say this symbol here is very similar to the Venus female symbol, and that's again encouraging the divine feminine. 9 is a number, like I said. Oh, so yeah, you got 2 9s and you've got 1 2. So yeah, you got 2 9s. So that means that you're definitely completing a cycle that's incorporating how your spirit and how your energy is manifesting in the physical world, in the material world. You could ignite your passion by bringing others in to ignite that passion and get different experiences and different beliefs from that said passion. But it is really you who needs to cultivate those energies, those blooming possibilities into bringing your abundant wealth that is your birthright. I wouldn't say the Queen, but the 9 of Wands, like in this deck, she's actually known as Black Barbie. And like, it's this sort of like, I know my shit, I know my worth. It's taken a long time to get my worth, but that's why I'm protective of it. So it's liking the finer things in life, whether that's like the finer things don't have to be just like, you know, cars, flights. It could treating yourself to bloody yum yum. Do you know what I mean? It literally means like this sort of, it's exploring self-care.
Of it.
It's exploring self-care in your mentality, which is looking after self, but looking after the things around you. Because this card could, talk about a Black Barbie, but then this card could also talk about looking after your garden. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's so, it's to do so much with the earth signs.
And so much to do with like nourishing your surroundings.
Exactly. It's sort of like nourishing your space, nourishing your development, nourishing your process, and making it making sure that whatever's in that environment is satisfied, so it can then proceed to the next level. I want to get a clarifier, so I'm just gonna edit this bit out.
A few, imagine like, you know, on SpongeBob, where it's like a few moments later.
Literally, a few moments later. So now I'm just gonna shuffle these cards.
I think some of these are upside down, babe.
Oh yeah, let me.
Is it? Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm just gonna shuffle to gain a clarifier and just something to tie up the message with. Oh.
That card.
Yeah, everything's flying.
I love the sound it makes.
It's quite therapeutic. It's like ASMR.
Yeah, these ones like quite got like a bit more weight to them. These cards as well.
Yeah. Oh, 3 of Wands. Okay, maybe that's the clarifier. So, the 3 of Wands has come upside down, right? And when you get the 3 of Wands, well, 3 is a number. It's to do with wait, let me put it here so it might be easier. 3 of Wands as what a number in general, it's basically to do with development, foundation, and linked. It's linked to stability, but it's just before stability. It's like the initial, I can't say the word, initial period, but let's say 4 would be the foundation, you know? This has room to adapt and mutate and sort of still be abstract because it's a 3. But because you got the card upside down, that suggests to me that one might not be taking advantage of a passion that is presented to them. Because you know what, I just thought as well, I think this reading is talking about travel. Just because wands is to do with sort of expansion and moving as well, but it's like not just moving experiences and backgrounds, but moving like locations, you know. And I think the Three of Wands sort of suggests this I don't want to say dissonance, but like a, you know, when you second guess something. I think that sort of describes what the Three of Wands is. I want to get more insight for this card. What did you think of the card so far?
So I thought it was pretty remarkable how the three of them kind of related to the question I asked. Like, for me, when I thought, like, so the situation is like being faced with maybe a new thing, or like something that, you know, it's like something you might do every day, but like a lot of people you know or don't know, have different experience, will probably have experienced something similar, and it's why like it's like a perfect opportunity for you to share. And then the action I thought was quite interesting, because from having this background, you, and also like the skills and resources you have as a person anyways, you have all the motivations behind you, and that's the one thing that's stopping you like releasing the passion that you have for the action you're doing. And like obviously, like referring back to the first card, you eventually get to the final state, which is kind of like about nourishing and like making your actions a kind of reward,
tangible as well, like doing something with those actions. I thought it was really cool. And you're talking about like the Three of Wands as like the step before. It kind of makes sense, because like for you to like enjoy something and find your passion into it, there always has to be like a moment of doubt, or like a moment of where you need to like mold yourself a little bit towards it. No, you're so right. Like, it even says here, the vantage point of looking over a balcony at a beautiful sky suggests great things are ahead. 2 wands on one side at testament of where you've been, and 1 wand is at the other side as a symbol of moving forward. The 3 of Wands is a time of busy activity to see projects succeed, relationship thrive, and plans realised. And when you get the card reversed, it's talking about misunderstandings, distractions, and delayed plans. So it could talk about, I guess it talks about this cultivation of a passion, right? It talks about how you've ignited it, or how it can be continuously reignited on a daily or physical level. How will that work spiritually and energetically? And are you encompassing all the other motivations that are present within you to contribute to the successful completion of it? And then ultimately, how is that reflected externally? How is all of the energy, all of the stuff that you're working for, with, behind, all of the things that drives you, how does that look like in your external expression, in your physical expression? Because the 3 of Wands can talk about that doubt, but using it to determine what you want. Because if ones are always to do with ideas inspire you. Bad ideas can even inspire us. Bad ideas have sort of driven the resilience that we have to get to those successful ideas or sexual completions. So I think in relation to your reading, it just basically gives you a job's well done, because you're going in the right direction with a blooming garden, and blooming opportunities are coming for you. But it encourages you to expand or include motivations that you may previously disregard, whether they are yours or others. I want to say, I don't know, it's weird, because the thing is, that card's 2, right? And those are both 9, and that's 3. So there's something related, you know, like a power in 3s that I'm picking up on, to do with like foundation. But I think that it's just more, because like energy and fire, that's all like that burns up quite quickly, innit? So because of that, it's things that happen fast. So you could get a distraction, or you could have a delayed plan, but when that's alleviated, it's stopped, you know? It's not like the Pentacles, which talk about if you plant something, it will take for a while. Do you know what I mean? So I think in your reading, it just sort of encourages you to like keep on including others in your new shared passions, be mindful that you have other passions that need your attention, because they will also give you a lot of abundance.
Yeah. No, thank you for that reading, Sarah.
Don't you worry.
Give me a lot of clarity.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a great way to end.
Yeah, it says that you need to travel soon as well, so I hope that happens.
I really need to.
No, literally, I was reading it and I was like, there's a bit of Leah in here. Like, I need to like travelling.
Give
amazing.
me that fit for fly certificate. Bojo, please. I'm waiting. Waiting.
Yeah, no, can someone get Leah out of the country? Not in a, like, I want her out, but like, I can just tell her that, like, she just needs her son, innit?
So much.
Well, that takes us to the last bit of the show, the episode. It's the direct message, and that just means that you have to leave listeners with a take-home message. What would you like to leave listeners on?
I think I'd like to say is that I hope this podcast, as well as like touched on it, that like anything you have that is resilience is always just an opportunity in disguise.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I hope you stay motivated for the rest of your week.
Oh, that was a really cute one. I like that. My direct message for this week, I think it's... Oh, I'm a bit... Sorry, I'm stumped. I honestly don't know. Well, we've talked about resilience. We've talked about picking yourself up and sort of igniting your passions again. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got a tip, okay? And there's a tip that I need to follow as well. So, yeah, maybe tag us, let us know if you're doing it, so then it'll give you motivation to do it too. Basically, passions, interests, new things. We always are like, oh, we'll get round to it. Write a list of all the things that you want to do and slowly get round to it. That's it. Like, obviously in consideration, because I know obviously Corona's got us like limited in where we can go. Like, however, that doesn't...
Not the time to take up surfing for a lot of people.
Yeah, like you can't take up surfing anytime soon. But that doesn't mean that you can't take up other things. And taking up new things, being a beginner again, it sort of just reminds you that you're human, and it reminds you that... if you try again, you'll get good at something. So yeah, try new things, guys. That's my direct message.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah, keep it fresh. Keep it sweet. Add some sauce. Amazing. Well, that's the end of our episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please, could you tell listeners where they could find you if they want to follow or share? If they can find me.
So I guess you get on my Instagram. My name is Leah Stella, like Leah Stella, but my last name is Stella.
Great branding.
Yeah, you get me that. Or got my Facebook as well. Yeah. It's great to be a part of you.
Thank you for coming down. I really enjoyed the episode with you. It's always a joy with you. It's always a joy. I've been Sarah. This has been DM Talks. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on dm.talks or goodgoodgoodmedia. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Follow us on YouTube.
Definitely.
See these beautiful visuals. Like, is where it is. But yeah, it was lovely talking to you guys, and I hope to hear from you soon. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.